Alright, hello everybody. My name is Assassin, and I want to go over the mission after action review from the Sunday yesterday, um, which is the attack on Objective Hannut, which I designed. I want to review this from the CEO's point of view. Um, so there will be no gameplay. It's pretty much going to go by events and what took place here and why. So here's the overall mission to start with is Kanium company with mech support is supposed to move up, um, cross enemy lines north, take control of the bridgehead and the bridge, and take control of the final objective, Objective Hannut. And then at the same time take out the enemy's artillery, which could be repositioned depending on which time you start the mission. Okay, so the CO's plan, and I did not look at this before we started, didn't edit anything except for I put reinforcements in. So I put another company of tanks in, and I think a platoon of mech, I think it was, just where the guys can play. I didn't want them to not have a vehicle. So that was the whole purpose of that. Okay. As you see here, there is a large amount of armored forces here, a smaller amount of mechanized forces. The mechanized forces were mainly focused on the objectives, and the armor forces were more to fight off the incoming enemy. Okay, the attacking enemy, pretty much. So my plan was to conduct a company march north, which took this route and this route, established a company line near the probably I think it was about a kilometer south of the enemy line, somewhere in there, and then conduct a company assault on the east side upwards, make an attack through the bridgehead going west, regain the formation after the bridgehead attack is complete, make another attack on Objective Hannut while maneuvering with the tanks with a support by fire position, and then finally finishing out coming through with the artillery after intel and gain intel of their positions. Okay, so as far as what did happen, everybody did well on this mission. A few mistakes were made, which is okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. The main purpose of Kanium missions is for all the players to have a good time, to enjoy each other, um, and shoot things, and at the same time have a respectable chain of command. You know, where somebody who has a little more experience knows what they're doing and can help the newer players throughout the mission and be successful without going around just shooting everybody and shooting like kind of a World of Tanks gameplay. Um, this did not happen today or yesterday here with Canium. There was not a World of Tanks gameplay, and there was not gamey gameplay. It was actually organized quite well, and according to the AAR, which shows the true facts, not the perceptions, it was very good. So as you see, we took contact earlier than expected here, coming down. Um, the this mission was intended for the A-10s and Strike Force to hit two companies of armor before we got there, which it did. It helped us tremendously here. We keep moving up here, taking contact, continuing to move. The scouts up here, which they did a wonderful job. Were reporting enemy armor contacts and dug in positions, which We had ICM being called on those positions, and it was very effective. So the recon did very well, very, very well. Um, every platoon, I would say, during this mission did really well, and everybody within the game did very well. Let's see, we go this way. So here they're starting to establish at the line. They are taking contact. So first platoon is in contact to start with, while second platoon is coming up the middle to establish their line, company line. Okay. Looks like here that they were shooting at this vehicle while at this vehicle, so there was a few shots through the line of sight, which is understandable. So they had an engagement there. Artillery was dropped here, here, and here. Okay. And as you see, the line is not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But after the first contact, normally your plan falls apart. This plan kind of stayed together as proposed, even though the line wasn't perfectly right, which you're never going to have a perfectly straight line in a combat, immediate combat, which these guys were in. So first platoon is still taking fire. He's taking fire from multiple sides. Second platoon finally starts getting involved here. They are engaging the target, which has been destroyed. So third platoon is starting to maneuver around. So the tank platoons are doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Exactly. Alright, so third platoon comes around, and the reason I had like this is because of the terrain. In this kind of terrain, the tanks will pop out of nowhere right in front of you, under 1,000 meters, depending on where you're at. So this is another reason why I went with this attack in the east and recon in the west to get eyes on, and we use artillery to affect the enemy over here, taking out the enemy. I knew that it would be hard to see across this road here from this side, given that there were a few line of sights that the enemy could, but it was just a small glimpse, which it was still. We had some guys get hit, which is later on in the mission, which is here. The tank had a line of sight, and it was a perfect line of sight right in this area, and the tank pulled out and was shot. So, I mean, the enemy were positioned quite well, actually, too, for these guys to be fighting. So, kudos to these guys, okay? And as you see, second platoon and first platoon are engaging, and third platoon are engaging the tanks at the same time, which is quite effective, a cross line of fire here. And then artillery dropping at the same time was quite effective on the enemy, which allowed us to take out, it looks like almost a company and a half over here, including this. So quite well to the tank platoons as this is together, even though it's not a perfect line. They did quite well. Kind of close, dangerous there, but quite well. Let's see here. Okay, so here's the point here. This ground right here in this area can see all the way this way and this way. If you were to come up on this ground right here, you can only see here, here, and here, and I will prove this later. And then from here, you can see straight into. So at one point in time, this sector right here was covered by 3 lines of fire. Okay, so recon was caught off guard while trying to see and engaged. Normally, when the enemies see you, they will shoot you before you have a reaction time, which is fine. He was hit, he reported, and we knew about the tanks coming. Okay, Charlie 1 is engaging vehicles here. As you see, this area right here can see straight into here. So is this ground right here drops. As you see here, it drops to 83, 82, 83, 85, and then it kind of goes like that. Well, this ground right here is 86, where they're at 88. Over here, a little lower, but there's some points where you could see straight into here. Okay. So first platoon is engaging into that sector, followed by support from mechanized infantry. Just perfectly fine. Okay, Alpha 3 is maneuvering upwards. And was flank shot, which they engaged immediately. I think he was, yeah. So they're engaging the targets over here. And as you see, the line of sight is straight through dead targets already. So they're shooting through dead targets, which sometimes you have to do that to kill your targets. These guys can't see through here, but they know that the enemy's right here. So if they pop out, Alpha 1 is right here, which they have this maneuver ground right here, this box right here to maneuver and take out this enemy. This, if there was a tank to pull right here, this tank was supported by these guys right here. These guys right here could see straight into here. These guys right here, whatever tank it was, depending on your strength, your platoon strength, could see into here, right here. His flank was covered, and he was covered from his left. Okay. Enemies going on. As you see, at one point in time, there are 3 lines of fire coming into here. Right now, there's 2. I'm sorry, there's 3. There's one from here, one from here, and one from here. Okay, these guys are being hit. Of course we are. There's almost a company over here of enemy. Recon has called artillery. Artillery is dropping here, which was quite effective, as I said before. I was hit here, engine damage on me. Yep, which is my fault. I popped out a little too far. Okay, there. Now, effective move was right here as a flank. And I can understand completely of why these guys were supporting here. So this tank went up the flank. His left flank's covered. His right flank is covered all the way up to here. So it's covered here. This guy was completely covered and completely confirmed to move up and do this. To help us over here, which guys were taking fire and we were taking losses. Very good flank. Very good kill. What happened now is we lost a guy and I had to take control of this vehicle, which when you take control of the vehicle, when you over here doing something else, you kind of got to get your situation awareness, which at the time I had an enemy vehicle looking at me and I finally got it and I retreated this vehicle out due to the loss of player, which this vehicle then went back to the CCP pretty much we had back here, which he was in the right zone. He's supposed to be anywhere from 2 kilometers behind you, the front line, which he was. So this tank was taken out of the front lines, and then this platoon right here was left with 2, which then we didn't have command for this platoon here. So this platoon here got attached to this platoon here, which then made this a 6-strong platoon here, which we could still carry the mission, the attack going this way. Continue on. Recon is still calling arty on these guys here. So recon, normally we don't have recon doing the job they're supposed to do, but in this mission they were given a very good job to do, which was to find enemy over here where they wouldn't shoot us across the board and get artillery called on them. And at the same time, they were being reinforced with more mechanized and armor to to support them. As you see, here comes the attack. Very good, very online. Now, at this point, 3rd Platoon was to come up here, provide a support by fire, to fire over this hill into this sector right here. It's kind of hard to get a fire into this sector right here because of the terrain. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, I will show you. And as you see, as you see right here, coming into town, there's a lot of woods. The terrain is very flat at times, and then there's just woods out of nowhere, which the enemy can hide behind. Okay. One more thing I wanted to show real quick that I forgot to. Sorry about that. I'm going to back up just a tad here. Where's it at? Let me turn this off. Okay. So right here, we're going to go to this tank right here. Okay. And we're going to look at his view. He's right here. We're going to use the line of sight tool. And then we're going to post it right here to prove a point of what I was talking about. This is where this tank had his line of sight. Right here is where this tank had its line of sight. Right here, a little more, is where this tank had its line of sight. And then we go over here is where this Brad and these troops had their line of sight. This vehicle was covered all the way to here and here. There's no way anybody could have covered from here unless they were up in here. Which this troop could have heard something coming, which I don't think he could see anything. Nope. But still, this guy was covered. And he was covered this way, I believe. Yep. As you see through here. Through 6.5. Right there. So, Colbrook lost connection. I'm not sure why. I think his network dropped. I haven't heard from him since he dropped the game, so I don't know. But he left TeamSpeak, so. Alright, so getting back up here, we're moving, getting ready to attack. Now we had a stage right here. Alpha 3 took the support by fire position right here. Alpha 2, which is one platoon now, and Charlie 1, Charlie 2 were to attack through this bridgehead here. We had some tanks moving through the sector here, which artillery was called on them, but they moved out. Now here's what the platoons didn't know is reinforcements were coming down this road right here, supporting through here. So the left flank support was there, but at the same time you couldn't see these guys, which these guys could shoot into here. And if you can't see them through here. It's just terrain is very rough. Very hard to fight on. So as you see, this AI platoon, and I was helping with it, was taking fire and was assisting with trying to destroy vehicles. This platoon gets spotted, but not in enough time to keep these guys from getting hit. There's where the platoon was when the recon requested for fire. And here we go. We have mech platoon engaging vehicles, IFVs to IFVs, which is fine. There's the smoke coming down as requested by platoon leaders before they went into the objective. And here we go. Here's ICM hitting this sector right here as this tank was able to spot enemy tanks right here. Recon is with their armor engaging these tanks right here. And as you see, he's trying to take them out. He's got one of them. And I guess he shot himself, the AI. There he goes. He's still engaging. Here's where this AI was positioned perfectly to hit this guy. If you look right here, and I want to show it right there, there's the tank that shot him. He just popped out at the wrong location. There's no way that anybody would have found this tank except for recon, which was already called and artillery was already on the way. Okay, artillery was called on these guys. Recon still engaging, destroyed 2, which was the tank that shot him. I believe there's another one that shoots this other guy. This other guy gets hit by this tank right here, which is unfortunate. Okay. Artillery took out the platoon there. And then mechanized starts engaging a tank, which I don't understand why. Immediately you should not even shoot at it unless it's to the side. Okay. So the side here, the flank is coming up after this loss here. And then there's support coming in behind and support on this side. This would have been understandable to do, which was good, and push forward. These tanks could have stayed back here, could have slowed the attack down. Here we go. Here we coming straight in. And T-80's getting hit by AI. Troops are taking fire from the friendly IFVs. This platoon has support right here. These guys were together, working together. Everything was fine right here. Right here, except for this IFV, heavy armor was eliminated from the bridgehead. And there's the artillery that was called just late. Enemy artillery was called here. Taking out 2 vehicles. And as you see, the mechanized is engaging here, which there was some separation. However, that was fine. But it did cost a vehicle or 2, which is in this kind of terrain is going to happen. So there's tanks supporting right now. As you see, the support was there. Could have been a little more organized, but it was there. Okay. And as you see, eventually the infantry gets taken out and we take the bridgehead. After this, we start taking fire from the north here. Platoon assaults down. Not that one. I think one of another ones do, but I think it's these guys. I know one came down. It was already. And we start repositioning here for the next attack. Artillery is being called. Recon is identifying these guys. They're coming up on the map. Artillery is being effective on these guys. So the plan with the recon on this side and the main attack on this side, in my opinion, as the CO, was effective. It was very effective. Okay, now we have tanks moving forward, engaging, which is second platoon, which it was supposed to be second and first right here, but they're combined, so it is where they were supposed to be. This platoon where it was supposed to be, it was hit by enemy artillery, and it got two of them. That's why it's very important to, as a platoon, make sure that you're always moving within 2 minutes. That way, and back here, that way we won't lose vehicles to artillery. Okay. And then separation, it's important for that. That way we won't lose vehicles to that. Right here, I think he got on a forward slope. May have killed him. I don't know. Let's see here, which is fine. Okay. Let's see. And the AI are very, very good in this game. They will spot you with the speck. Like, if they see just a speck of you, they'll kill you. I think he's right there. So, yeah. In reality, more than likely, if he was moving very slow, this guy wouldn't have seen him. So, the AI is super, super. Sorry, my headset cut off there for, I guess, it doesn't pick this game up. I don't know when it's in the AAR. Okay, so the Bradley takes fire, gets hit. We know the position of this tank now. These positions are being called out. Artillery is being dropped on them. And here we go. And as you see, we're still establishing here. I wanted the mech to come and clear this out and see if they could see up here and to over here while the tanks get into a support by fire position here. Then was do a handover where the mech can come in and attack while the tanks support. So we go here. Oops. And it looks like the tanks are taking out people. Um, Alpha 3 is taking out the artillery pieces, which is good, weakening the enemy's artillery. Okay. It's good here. It's taking out hard targets, which is weakening the enemy, giving it a chance where the mechanized can come in and deal with the mechanized infantry and what's left. Artillery's hitting again. And here's where I think the motivation got really set in. I've seen these tanks are engaging. These tanks are not backing down. Very, very good. Everybody's having fun here. Alpha 3's having fun here. They're shooting people here. They're ready to defend from here. Very good positioning. Very good. And then we're going to finish it up. Alpha 3's moving behind the hill here to prevent from being shot here and over here where you can pop out and engage targets into the objective. Perfectly planned, very well. Mechanized is coming through the woods now, working together, which is what we're supposed to do and what's happening. AI tank platoons, which is here, 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 and all some of the command units are moving up. These guys start taking fire from the objective. They see, they identify. Now we know that there is heavy concentrated force of enemy right in this position here. Alpha 3 does very well into eliminating them. Other tank platoons start getting involved. AI tank platoons. Okay. We did have one into the objective, which he got probably in the combat. He's probably in the gunner seat. Probably didn't realize at the time, which is fine as long as he was the backup later on, which is okay. I mean, he didn't get hit by the artillery, so that's good. Alpha 3 doing very well. Effective artillery coming down as called by Romeo units, flanking around, getting eyes on the enemy from the north. And then the rest of Alpha 3 comes up, finishes off the tank. Heavy concentration area right here, which was a very good thing. Right here, effective spotting from Romeo 1-3, requesting artillery on these vehicles. And then we hit them in the center compound. Here's where the support by fire of the tanks line come into play. The mechanized is starting to reposition to come around. Bridge is secure right here for the mechanized to cross. As you see, here they come. The tank platoon Alpha 3 takes over right here, this position, and gets engaged again from the objective. He's engaging here. She's trying to take out the last PC. Yep, does very well. Artillery's hitting here again. Now the units up north here that's providing support for what's left of the enemy's arty is being hit. I'm sorry. The enemy is hitting our units crossing the bridge here, which they can see. They had a good line of sight here. Now I believe, nope, he got hit again. So this unit right here has not been identified yet. He's being shot again. I believe he knows now. Yeah, because this tank platoon pushed up. So they are found. We found them. Now we're pressing the enemy here and here and here. And there comes the arty onto the enemy, taking out the entire platoon. Oh, what was this? This AI unit was hit from over here, and as I talk about, this terrain is very, very. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm just looking down, and it's getting dark. One sec here. Where'd he go? There he is. As you see here, it was really hard to find this guy also. I think he's in there, maybe. Uh, he's somewhere, I know, let's see. He's in there. He is in there somewhere. Okay, there's an enemy tank in this opening over here. Yep. I just couldn't see him. There he is because of the dust when he fired. But if you see him here, there he is. Look at the gap. So it's very hard to, you will get hit in this mission or places you have no idea, and it's very hard to scan in those zones. Okay. Now we're trying to locate this tank. I think he come up on the map. This is smoke, I believe, that it's dropping. I want to say that smoke. Requested smoke by our forces. Yeah, it is. Now the attack begins. And then we kill the tank. Alpha 3 is coming in. They're going to come around, come up to engage the enemy arty. So by now the main attack has happened, but the enemy forces have lost over 50% of their forces just from arty and being picked off. There's a bridge destroyed. Okay, so they're taking fire. We lost a vehicle there. This is it. This is the final attack. Everybody's coming in. Here we go. Okay, so these forces, these tanks identify that they're being shot from the north here, the northeast. They attack and they force the enemy to, start choosing who to shoot at, but they're about to get flanked and they're about to get killed here shortly. Artillery hits that guy. They're coming around. Alpha 3 is, and then it's pretty much finishing up the mission right here. And there you go. Artillery pieces are getting wiped, and the main headquarters is getting taken out. Right there. Right there. It's starting to get dark too, which is fun. Let's see if he kills. 4-3 kills him. 4-3 gets hit again. Come on, 4-3. See if Bravo. Oh, one more tank. There it goes. Bravo 3-4 got him. Good, oh, good job. And that's the mission. So, and overall, um, we lost what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 vehicles to, oh, sorry, 11, 12. 12 vehicles to the number of, what, a whole battalion plus. So it's not bad for what we had. And like I said, if we didn't have the reinforcements, we still would have made it through. But I just wanted everybody to have a tank. So everybody had fun, and the maneuvers that everybody did was great. And the platoon leaders did quite very, very well. So um, I just wanted to show the AAR here and show the fact of the mission that happened on Sunday. And a lot of times, is definitely in missions like this, meat grinders, you really can't see the whole picture. of what exactly is happening. So, all right, thank you for watching, and thanks, appreciate it. All right.